It's your girl Eb the Celeb, and I'm here with Simmonds. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing, babe?
I'm good. Last time I saw you, you probably don't remember because I don't even think I spoke to you. But last time I saw you was in Atlanta last year at Aunt Deb's showcase. She had a showcase for a couple of her artists at Justin's at Puff's restaurant, and you were there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, and you were still rocking the Gumby, but today, like, I don't know if you want to take off your hat real quick to show the people the Gumby is gone. You got a brush cut. So why'd you cut the Gumby off?
I just feel like as an artist, you always have to grow and do different things. The Gumby was last year. It was time for a new change. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now your style is like a little out there with a lot of stuff. Like you got a little weird tattoos. You got your face pierced right here. Define your style.
I mean, my style is just free, man. I just get up and just do me. At the end of the day, I just whatever is comfortable for me. You know what I mean? I don't really have any restrictions or don't do this, don't do that. It's just whatever I feel like for the day.
Okay. Now, when you first came on the scene, you were signed to Interscope. Are you still signed to Interscope? Or are you completely just Konvict music right now?
No, not. I'm no longer Interscope. Konvict / Boo Vision, and right now it's independent, and I still have a record that's really working right now. So I'm happy about it.
Okay. Now, what happened with that deal? Was it like you weren't happy with the situation there? I mean, I know it took a long time for your album never even came out over there. So were you just dissatisfied with the situation over there?
I was very dissatisfied with it. I felt like with all the acts that they had in there, they were taking my project a little lightly and really not paying as much attention as I would have liked for them to. So it was a really a great blessing for me to be able to get out of the system without being attached to anything over there, and it's really helped me to move forward in a good manner. You know what I mean?
Now, what's it like working for Akon? Because it seems like as soon as comic music really took off with a couple artists, he stepped back and really let y'all do y'all thing, unlike a couple other CEOs of record labels that we won't name. Yeah. So what's it like working with him?
I mean, it's great. He's a real humble dude. He real laid back, relaxed. The thing about Khan is that he signs who he signs because he likes what they do already. You know what I mean? So he kind of signs people who are kind of self-sufficient, able to make great music on their own, and then he adds his flavor to it, which is a great thing for somebody to be able to do.
Okay. Now your music is really sexy per se. Mm-hmm. So where does that come from?
Man, you know what? The projects that I've been putting together have been the Sextape Chronicles 1, the Sextape Chronicles 2 is coming out August 1st, and really what it is just when I put projects together, I like to stick with some kind of a theme, and it just so happened that those two themes for those two mixtapes is sexually driven. You know what I mean? But I have a lot of other kind of music as well, and so the next projects that I put together, everybody will be able to see that side of me as well.
Okay. Now, since your projects are all about sex, you got to give the people, what's your bedroom superpower? What do you do in the bedroom that just, if you talk about sex, you got to have something going on in the bedroom, so.
I just think I'm working with the right instruments, you know what I mean, to make the situation, a good situation. I know what to do with, what I've been given.
All right. So, okay. So, with that said, have you ever heard of the term dickmotization?
I've never heard of it, but I could just imagine what it is.
Yes, so it's when a chick, you put it down so good that the chick starts acting crazy because you put it down so good. And it's usually not somebody that's your girlfriend, because otherwise you wouldn't care if she act crazy. So, what's the craziest thing a chick ever done after you gave her the business?
Oh, man. She flat out my tires when she found out I was giving somebody else the business, too. She flat. Oh, man. And what's crazy about it is that it was I had already knew that she was crazy off top. So after I got found out or whatever, and I wasn't even really with her at the time. Actually, we weren't even together when she saw me with somebody else. But I knew what time it was, so I started parking in different spots, not parking directly in front of my apartment at the time, man. And she waited a month, and then came by and just got me for all my tires.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. You must got something. You make a chick bust out your tire. All right. Now, your accent, it doesn't really shine through a lot in your music. So how do you switch? It's so funny. People that aren't from here, that I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, how people that aren't from America can come over here and adjust to our stuff, but we can't do that. With Idris Elba, and when he acts, you wouldn't even know he's from overseas. And then when he talks, so how do you adjust that in your music?
It just comes naturally for me when it comes to music. You know what I mean? That's just the type of music that I do, and it's like, it's kind of like, you know, in New York, there's a lot of Puerto Ricans here who like might be from Puerto Rico but not speak Spanish or whatever. And in my case, it's like my accent really comes through when I talking more so than, you know, singing. I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, your mixtape that you talked about that's coming up, the single has Kelly Rowland on it. What are some other features that you have on the mixtape?
There's no other features on the mixtape as of yet. But it's coming out August 1st. I'm looking into possibly having one more. Maybe. I'm not sure about it. But right now I'm comfortable with just having Kelly on it. It's really just about the music. It's not really about features and, you know, that kind of stuff. It's really just about great music that I think people going to really love.
Okay. Now, since you talked about sex music, what's a person that you put on when you getting it on, or what's the person that you would list as like the all-time greatest of doing sex music songs?
R. Kelly has to be the greatest at sex music songs. Well, two people, R. Kelly and Jodeci.
Okay.
Those are the two people. If you know, you trying to get it in, then they got all the music for that. Yeah.
Definitely. So now, besides the mixtape, what else do you have coming up?
Like I said, we have the single Boo thing that's starting to chart now. We're doing really well on that. We just gave 2 new records to Rihanna that she's gonna be using for her next album, Louder. That should be out later on this year. As well as we did a record for Swiss Beats called Bonkers that he just premiered on the radio the other day here in New York. We did something with Busta Rhymes. He just got Chris Brown on there as well. So, you know, with the Jugganauts, we got a lot of things going on right now. Happy about it.
Now, if you had to choose between being an artist or producing or writing, like what would you do for the rest of your life that you just like cannot live without doing?
Man, between writing and being an artist
And producing.
I mean,
because you're a triple threat. I didn't even realize that. But.
Right, but I mean, that's a hard one, man, because it's all one and the same for me. You know what I mean? I love them all equally, but I mean, if I had to choose one, I guess the artist would be the strongest thing for me, because that's what I grew up wanting to be. I've never really wanted to do anything else. Me being a writer and a producer is something that I picked up along the way, just perfecting my craft. But artistry is what I love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how can the people get in touch with you?
Man, they could follow me at Twitter. That's at VERSESIMMONDS. Don't forget the D. People forget the D in there. Simmonds. It's not the regular way. It's ONDS. They could follow me on. They could get at me on Facebook, which is also /Verse Simmonds.
Okay. Yeah. Now, anything else you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
Man, make sure y'all look out for the sex tape Chronicles. It's coming out August 1st. I'm excited about it. Everybody, I think, is really gonna love it.
Okay. And I'm Up the Celeb, and we out of here.